Hades Guardians, welcome to Tales of the Frontier. As always, I will be using a system for determining the certainty of a theory. The system will be in the description below and is in short as follows. It ranges from speculation to possible to probable to likely and to confirmed. You can also find a link of the script for this episode in the description below. My name is Captain Kex and today's subject is the Firebreak Order. The Illyrian Type 2 head. Some accuse the Firebreak Orders of rabid, mindless aggression, but their rabid aggression is quite deliberate. Let's journey back to the time of the city's founding. The Iron Lords had united the Risen in the protection of the city, and the Risen, who had become guardians now, focused on making sure that this new sanctuary of humanity was safe. Titans formed orders to protect its border and refugees. This defensive dogma came to its ultimate test during the Battle of Six Fronts, when 4 Titan orders had to protect 6 entries to the city from the onslaught of the attacking Fallen. The chain, as it was called then, held, but was heavily strained during the battle. While the city remembered Defender Titans becoming the wall, there was one order that disobeyed the order to defend, and instead pushed back upon the fallen forces. This is the Firebreak Order. Mark of the New Front reads, the Firebreak Order strive to draw the battle away from the city and its interests. So the Firebreak Order is the opposite of the defensive orders of Titan that were formed during this time. Their focus was, as the intro quote suggested, on rabid aggression in order to literally break the enemy. Notice the pattern of the Mark of the New Front, and now let's look at the Mark of the Lost Charge. A zealous few sneer at the legend of Six Fronts. Our invincible defense was a waste, they say. We should have charged. It's not only the design of the mark itself that's similar, even the text describes a will to push against the enemy. So what more defines the aggressive Firebreak Order? Let's read through some of the items of the Firebreak type armor set and the Illyrian type armor set. Firebreak Head. The trick isn't landing the headbutt, it's disengaging when you get stuck. The chest reads, beneath the armored superstructure, Titan plate is tiled with inertial sinks and field drivers. Legs. This design rebels against the defensive dogma of many Titan orders. Arms. Built for forward battle, the Firebreak pattern rewarded diligent maintenance. Now over to the Illyrian type. The Illyrian legs. Titan doctrine grapples with the balance between fixed strength and fluid positional advantage. The arms read, when ammunition runs dry, your armor itself must become a weapon. The chest reads, not so much a formal Firebreak variant as the collected wisdom of Titans interested in peak performance. Clearly, this order even focused its gear around long deployment in which the order would push through enemy offensive lines in order to break the attack. One also wonders if Saint 14, who has been made famous for headbutting a fallen Kel to death, was part of this order or perhaps trained with them. Nothing more supports that, so it's only speculation at this point. Mark of the Martyred puts another puzzle piece on the board. It reads, it is called the Firebreak Calculus. How much good could I do if I find the right place and fight until I die? So we understand the Firebreak Order as highly aggressive, carrying out assaults on an enemy line in order to break through and shatter it. Quite a dangerous tactic, as Mark of the Martyr would suggest. The order is also associated with an artifact, the Firebreak Eternal. It reads, a piece of the fire victorious, the ever-burning flame of the Titan Firebreak Order. A strange artifact, its crystal-like shapes resemble the ones seen in hive areas. The significance of the ever-burning flame is an interesting one that still eludes us. Is this a metaphorical flame to describe that burning power that drives the order, or does it have a deeper meaning? There are parallels to be drawn to the Sunbreakers, both being closely tied to solar and flame. The Sunbreakers were an ancient order of titans that wielded the Hammer of Sol. Nowadays, a mercenary order, back then their mark hints at a possible connection to the Firebreak Order. Sunbreaker's mark reads, "Once these marks streamed proudly from the city rooftops. Now they are a symbol of defiance." Defiance here could mean when the Firebreak Order defied the order to defend the entrances during 6 fronts. It's said that the light of Sunbreakers had never been seen within the walls of the city, and could this be why? 6 fronts in the building on the wall fall very closely to each other, so could the Firebreak Titans who defied the order to defend that day have left the city in exile to become the Sunbreakers? Supporting this is also the fact that Osiris, who was present during the Battle of 6 Fronts, seemed to have a close connection to the Sunbreakers. It is possible that Osiris saw the potential of this order and decided to give them a new home. We do see Titans wearing Osiris marks protecting the portal that leads to the Burning Shrine during the Sunbreaker questline. This does support a possible connection between the two. Now let's leave that and focus on one last but highly interesting connection to other parts of the lore of Destiny. Let's look at Mark of the Sortie that reads, "At 6 fronts, 2 Firebreak commanders led a sortie beyond the walls. They reclaimed 5 miles of scorched land from the fallen." This goes very well with the other information, but this mark ties heavily both in design and text with a famous other risen, namely Radagast. The 5-mile mark reads, "Radagast's host made it 5 miles from the city's first walls. This pattern commemorates their march." Notice the pattern matches exactly and the text as well. So Radagast, the founder of the Iron Lords, is then likely one of these 2 Firebreak commanders that led the charge, reclaiming 5 miles of scorched land. At dangerous sortie, of course, this most likely gave the defending city room to breed and regroup, perhaps even turning the battle in their favor. It would seem that the Iron Lords were part of these new orders being formed after the city consensus united the factions and proper guardian ranks were established. This makes sense, since the Iron Lords were seen as a new dawn for the Risen, a beacon of hope for humanity. A quote from Tyler Karn reads, "When the Iron Lords spoke, the wolf packs listened. So it was in the days before the Vanguard." Now, we do know the ultimate fate of Radagast in the Siva Chamber, so his commanding status within the Firebreak Order seems to have been a limited one. It could be that the Iron Lords were commanders of the orders, but with their Iron Lord status came a dual membership that meant that their duty was foremost towards the Iron Call. So, in closing, the Firebreak Order seems to have been an order that did not confine to the rules of the city, even in its earlier days. Trading passive defense for an aggressive offense, these titans risked it all to fulfill the old saying, "A good offense is the best defense." We can see similar behavior later in Lord Shaxx, who made a similar push against the fallen force during the Battle of Twilight Gap. The order seems gone, but their aggressive tactics are still seen to this day and performed by titans. In Crucible or even in battle, we see titans performing aggressive acts in order to secure a victory. Even Defender Titans have seen pushing towards the enemy to gain a stronghold with their Word of Dawn. So feel that fire victorious burning within you, Guardian. It is the driving force for any Titan willing to risk her or his life in order to protect your fire team. Show the darkness that Guardians do not fear death. In fact, they embrace it. Break the enemy, Guardians. Break their offense. I hope that you have enjoyed this latest episode. Please show some support if you want me to continue making this kind of content. I'm sure you will find good ways to do that. And please spread the word on my channel. Dismissed, Guardians.